I took that time, I got back in the field, blew the dust off my tripod, and baby, I got to work. So hey my tater tots, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as you can probably see by the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be doing yet another chit chat type of video. We are going to be talking about how you can become an influencer, more specifically how I became a full-time paid influencer, but also how you guys can do the same thing. I am so passionate about this subject. I am so excited to be speaking on it today. I really hope this video is helpful or beneficial to you all somehow. I don't want to talk too much in the intro as usual, but before we get into it, as you can see, the face is given. We are going to be doing my makeup while we talk about these things. It's not going to be an in-depth tutorial or anything. If you guys want that, definitely let me know. But all the product links will be made available on the screen and in the description. And just so you guys know, YouTube may compensate me for using the shopping tags in this video. Be sure to add me on my other socials. Those will also be on the screen and in the description. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so starting off with the get to know me portion, my backstory. As y'all know, online I go by Luxury Tot. For those of y'all that still don't know, my real name is Tatiana. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Chicago. I've always loved fashion, beauty, all of the things of that nature. Literally, I've always just loved being a girl, and I still do. Now, like most people, especially more so in our younger years, I went through a lot of different career phases of what I wanted to be. A lot of them were beauty, fashion type of related careers. Like I definitely had a model phase, a actress phase. I wanted to be a hairstylist at one point. The longest run I've had with wanting to be a certain career was I really wanted to be a teacher, like ever since I was a little kid. I wanted to dabble into real estate. I even had a brief phase of wanting to be a dentist. Like these careers probably sound so all over the place, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Take this band off because I know I'm gonna have that line. Now, in my teenage years, at this point, it's like mid 2010s. Obviously, social media is beginning to emerge, YouTube being one platform. And naturally, I found creators on here that I gravitated towards, identified with. And I always tell people, the very first YouTuber I started watching was Kennedy. I promise y'all, like that's still my girl to this day. Like I love me some Kennedy. Like no Kennedy slander will be tolerated. Like Kennedy, Aaliyah J, Glamazon, like them was the first creators that I started watching, just to name a few. But point being, I started seeing young black women like myself that I identify with getting on here and making full-blown careers out of this, doing what they love, showing the girls how to do their makeup, showing different hauls and what they wearing, and you know, seeing companies send them different clothes, the same companies that I shop with. And like, and then just even at their core, their personalities, there was something about all of them that resonated with me and I identified with, to say the least. And to say the very least, I was inspired. And one thing about myself that I've always loved, even from very early on, I've always had this certain level of confidence. It may have grown over the years, but it was always there. When it came to anything that I wanted to do or anything that I was inspired by, I've always had this attitude that like, oh, if this person can do it, I can do it too. And it was no different when it came to YouTube. I promise you, like I said, I got on here and I saw all of these different young black women that I identify with making full-blown careers out of just whatever they were passionate about. So now at this point, this leads us to the start of my career. I started content creating back when I was 15. I'm 22 now, like I said. And starting out, I kind of just did what I liked. I didn't necessarily niche myself from the jump. I still wouldn't even say that I'm a niche creator, but if you've been watching my videos for the last few years, you know that I've niched down much more than I used to be. Pretty much all you get is fashion with a splash of beauty, but it was still pretty much fashion, beauty, maybe a vlog here or there. In a lot of ways, I was kind of like throwing a lot of things to the wall and seeing what sticks, so to say. but still being true to myself, still only making content about what I was passionate about. But it just so happens that the fashion-based videos are what my audience gravitated towards most, and I was so grateful because that's what I was the most passionate about. At this time, I was also in high school, still had a full-time job, so I wasn't nearly as consistent as I am now. However, I did try to, you know, fit in a video pretty often, as best as I could. Literally, y'all, I would get up for school 6 in the morning, stay there till 3:30-ish, be at work by 4, don't get off till 10, don't get home till about 10:30, 11, wake up the next day, do it all over again. But I was cool with it because that job was what was funding my dreams, and I did that purposely. Like I said, by 15, I knew what I wanted to do in my life, so anything for the time being was just temporary. I kid you not, with my first check, no, I'm sorry, it was the second check, because the first check wasn't none. So the second check, even that wasn't much. I made like $300 some, and with that very first real check, I went and bought me a camera. I actually bought 2 cameras, one that year, then one like a year later, which was crazy because I still did most of my content on my phone until I became full-time, but that's beside the point. I bought the camera, didn't even have no more money for the ring light, y'all. When I say I literally made a ring light, like, I wasn't playing. I never played about me, and I loved it. Like I said, I didn't get consistent for real until about 3 years later. At this point, I'm 18, it's 2020, 101 things going on in my life, pandemic just hit, and even with that, like, I literally just took all my lemons and made some frozen strawberry lemonade, spiked. I took that time, I got back in the field, blew the dust off my tripod, and baby, I got to work. I was getting unemployment at the time, of course. Unemployment was giving me $2,400 a month. I'm gonna let y'all pocket watch for a minute. And like I said, I just took advantage of all the opportunities presented to me at that time. $2,400 a month, tax-free, no kids, no bills, no none of that, and I can't even go nowhere and blow it. So at this point, it ain't nothing else to do but reinvest that back in my business. I kid you not, y'all, when I say I flipped that money so good. At this point, I'm gonna apply my lip stain. We're gonna be trying a new lip stains today. Sasho sent me over all of these new lippies. I think I'm gonna go with Hazel because that's the darkest, and I think I'm gonna put that pinkish shade in the center. I did mine kind of thick. I messed up a little bit right here, but it should be all right. But yeah, at this point, I'm taking my unemployment money, baby. I'm flipping it. I would take the money and spend it on clothes for hauls. I wasn't getting no brand deals at this point, of course. So it's like I gotta kind of like make my own opportunities, and I could do some shopping at the same time. Girl math. So once they would pay me, I would take my $1,200, and let's say I spent $300 at Fashion Nova, $200 at Pretty Little Thing. I wouldn't blow it all, of course, but I would take a majority of my money and invest it into my business somehow. I would give me some clothes to do hauls. I really capitalized off of that time. At this point, I'm just doing YouTube too. We had TikTok at this point, but it was still like an app where people got on there and danced. And of course, there were no reels or anything like this. So I'm just investing all this time and money into my YouTube channel. I would take the clothes, make videos on them. I would even be so, you know, resourceful as to take one order and split it up into maybe like 2 or 3 videos depending on what I got, and just create those opportunities for myself. I always tag the brands, I always make sure to mention them. If they don't know who I am, how can they reach out to me? I literally just put myself in their face, all while still building my audience at the same time. People naturally gravitated towards me. I was consistent, all of that. And I started all of this late March, early April of that year. By May, I was monetized. By June, July-ish to be safe, Fashion Nova started sending me clothes. Shein started sending me clothes. And literally, it was just so crazy and surreal to see the fruits of my labor and to just see everything start to fall into place and everything start to pay off. So at this point, I'm gonna kind of fast forward to where I am now. Like I said, it's about 4 or 5 years later now. And obviously, I'm still a full-time creator. I'm not just exclusive to YouTube though. Obviously, I do make content on my Instagram as well as my TikTok now. So I have expanded. I'm still consistent. I'm still doing this full-time. This is still my way of living. This is how I pay my bills. And literally, I just couldn't be more grateful. I don't want to sound repetitive. It's just such a flex. It's just such a blessing to be able to do what you love, period, and be paid for it. But even more so when you know what work you had to put in to get here, when you know that this has been your dream, like this, I'm literally living in a dream come true. Like, and I can't. And while I'm at it, I don't want to ramble, but I just want to thank every single person who has ever contributed anyhow to getting me to where I am today, because literally without y'all, I couldn't do it. I could sit up here and make videos day in and day out. If y'all don't show up for me, I don't get nothing. As far as where I am now, I will also say something that's different from when I first started, and more specifically as of this year, I've been added to so many more brands' PR lists. I really want to hop off camera and not say nothing else until I'm ready to peel this lip stain off. So I did my shadow and nose contour. Let's peel this lip stain off. That kind of tickle. So the lips are tinted. I like it. I'm gonna go on top with these shades. Like I said, these are from Sasho. Once again, something I just got in PR. I don't know if I need a different shade or something, but I don't know if I'm crazy about this combo. But now let's get into the last category, the pointers. Pretty much the pointers I have are all the things that I said that I did. First things first, as cliche as it may sound, know that you can do this. And I promise you, I'm not trying to sound cliche. I promise you I'm not. But that is such an underrated step to a lot of processes, not even just this one specifically. But if you haven't yet gotten your mind that you can do this and be a success at it, how can you expect to get on here or any other app and build a platform where other people believe in you? It doesn't make sense. So just know that, kind of like what I was saying, if I can do it, if everybody else can do it, why you can't? Next most important step is to stay consistent. People cannot watch content that you don't put out. If you want an engaged audience and you want people to constantly show up for you, you have to give them something to show up for. You have to put yourself out there. You have to post the content, simply put. Now, me personally, I wouldn't say that it's one set schedule or no set amount of times to post throughout a week or a month. I don't necessarily think that's a one size fit all. But you definitely have to just be realistic about how often you are able to put content out. And ultimately, you just have to be consistent enough for your audience. Reinvest back into yourself. Kind of like how I was talking about, oh, I would take my money, I would get my $1,200 this week and, you know, allocate $500-$600 to, or XYZ. Make it, you know, to your liking and what fits you best. And clearly it doesn't have to be the exact same, but whatever type of income you have, reinvest that back into yourself. Even if you have to put 5%, 10%, whatever you can afford to allocate it. No, you don't have to go all out, you know, do it little by little, especially as you're starting out when you're still learning a lot. This is a business and it's no different from any other type of business. You are going to have to reinvest at some point. And when you create your content and you are including a brand, whether it's sponsored or not, tag those brands, get yourself in their face. How do you expect them to find you, especially when you are starting out? There are so many accounts on these platforms. Make it easier for them to find you. Put yourself in a sponsorships way. And also, don't be scared to reach out to brands too. Type up a nice professional email, propose a collaboration, be very realistic when it comes to what you are asking for. All of that is going to depend on where you are at, what type of content you make, what you provide, etc. And also keep your engagement up. If you didn't take nothing else from this video, take that from it. Engagement, engagement, engagement. Brands want to see engagement. Obviously, it's good for you as a creator as well, but even more so when it comes to getting brand deals and sponsorships. I'm not gonna say followers don't matter, but engagement matters more. You can have 100,000 followers and only have 10,000, 10% be engaged. You can have 50,000 followers and have 30,000 or 60% engaged. Who do you think that brand is going to be more likely to reach out to or want to collaborate with? The person that can give them more reach, higher engagement. Because your follower count can be sky high. If these people not really, you know, engaging with you, then why does that even matter? And to be honest, I could really go on and on about this. I have so many good pointers I could give. If you guys want me to do a separate video where I touch more on this topic or answer more specific questions, let me know. Also, give this video a big thumbs up so that I know that that's what y'all want to see. But of course, leave me any comments you guys may have in the description. I thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this was helpful. Be sure to add me on my other socials. Those will be on the screen, the intro and description once again. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all in my next one.